hello, and welcome back to the Back to Business podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Annis, and I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, Shia Baum and Mike Kasab. Guys, how we doing?
We are
Good.
good.
How are you?
We are good. Michael, I
Living the dream.
have another story to share with you before we start.
Yeah, can she get through an intro before you do this to
No,
me every time?
I'm too excited to see you.
All right, let's
Let the
hear
man
it.
breathe.
Let's hear it.
I'm too excited
All right,
to see him because
Are
he
we grabbing
doesn't.
cigars tonight?
Well, we're going to get there in a second. Listen.
Okay.
So I text your brother and I say, hey, Mike is again being honored. Obviously, Sarah, I don't know if you know this, but Detroit Fest is honoring Mike on August 24th. I know. Our very own Michael. He's like a hot shot now, which is part of the reason I get so excited to talk to him because he never has time for me anymore. He used to be like, he had all day. Anyway, so I text Anthony and I said, hey, we need 100 Chaldeans for the dinner for young Michael. And Anthony replies to me, wasn't too enthused. So I said, okay, I'll pay for anyone who wants to come, right? So he says, okay, well, in that case, I got a lot of people. I said, but there's one condition if you don't pay. He says, what's that? I said, next year, you're the honoree.
Wait, I paid a lot last time. How did I end up with this?
Clearly it wasn't enough. I must have paid more because I didn't get
The rules were different last year, Mike. The rules changed when Shia wants them to.
So now I got Anthony negotiating against me for how much he has to give not to be next year's honoree.
Wow.
Well, first of all, I am very humble and thank you. Shout out to the Jewish community. Thank you guys for the recognition. I don't deserve it by any means,
That's
but
not
thank
true.
you. Thank you.
You're very much deserving of that.
But
I'm very happy for you.
On that note, on a serious note,
Thank you.
If you would have said,
Yes.
I don't know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever it is now, that Mike was going to be honored at a Jewish dinner, it would have been like, I promise you, the absolute last thing on his list. I mean, second to last. There are a few other things he probably could dream. Mike could think of some crazy things, but I guarantee you it's up there. And now it's like, it's like he's just a regular, like the whole Jewish community knows him. There's going to be a huge amount of them coming out to honor him. Seriously. And you would have thought that would have happened a few years ago, just based on two people having a conversation at a game, Mike making a racist comment at a game. Because of that, he is now literally a few years later being honored at a Jewish dinner.
Unity through division.
Yes. We love it.
If you can't see where we're different, you'll never know where we're alike.
Is that should be our new tagline?
Oh, another layer. Okay.
Who needs building bridges when we have unity through division?
Right.
You said that quite a few podcasts ago, and it was memorable. I might get it printed on t-shirts for you guys for
I do
Hanukkah
like that.
Seriously though, it's pretty.
And
it is pretty
Christmas,
cool.
yeah.
On a serious note, it is pretty
Christmas.
cool that it is pretty cool that Mike's being honored.
I know. Am I invited to this dinner?
Yeah,
Did
August
my invite get
24th.
lost in the mail?
No, it just went out today. Actually, you're on the list.
Oh, okay.
You've been talking to Shia
convenient.
so much. Did my invite get lost in the mail? Is his staple?
I know. Wait, speaking of, did you go to the World Cup game?
Of course,
The
you did.
the final.
I did.
Hold on.
And
Wow.
Hold on, Mike. Did our
We
invites get
got-
lost in the mail?
we got a gift here that they
For us?
gave
Is
us
that for
there.
me?
Well, we don't even know what it is, so let's make sure.
Oh,
Look, it's
okay.
still-
So for
the
anyone
seal is
watching,
still there.
we have a beautiful,
Hold on.
beautiful
Sarah, a little
red
context. What,
box.
they give this out to everyone who went to the World Cup, or just the people in the suites, or
It was given to me.
I don't know by who. You want to give a little
Wow.
background here?
Shia, hush up. We want to see what's in the box.
No, I like this. The build-up. Actually, before I do open this, I think that is the absolute best thing I've ever gone to. And I think I just said that last week about the White House UFC event. Things just keep getting more and more better.
We wouldn't know because we
You just
haven't
keep
been invited.
leveling up.
And he can't even say he went by himself this time because I know who he brought.
Well,
That's
you
true.
brought your dad last time, right?
This is just
I
a
took my
random guy in the street that he met.
Okay.
No, it wasn't.
We didn't get
You're
invited to
just
the
so
World
friendly.
Cup, but some random guy that Mike met walking up the tarmac to his private jet went with him.
That's exactly what it was. But we walk in. It's like level 5 suites, very far away view, right? And And as I'm walking to the suite, I'm just seeing celebrity after celebrity walk out of their suites. And it was cool. Like, I'm not, I think we've talked about this before. I'm not like the guy who goes crazy for celebrities, but I always think it's cool, like when they're around. But one, I was very impressed. I never asked to take pictures, but because I was in New York and I'm standing in line after the game's over to get to the elevator, and I turn around and there's Kate Cunningham right behind me. So I thought that was kind of cool. I'm like, hey,
yeah.
Kate, I'm a courtside, ticket holder. I'm on the other side, on the away side. So he doesn't see me much, right? But I had to plug in that I'm the one that's giving the other team so much smack talk, and that I'm responsible for a few of the wins last season. And I think Shia can agree there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think when you asked John Moran to sign a picture of a gun, that was the highlight.
Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot about that. I don't think on YouTube we might not be able to say the G word you just said, so we're gonna have to,
you can't say
bleep
gun?
that one out. I don't think so.
Not yet.
But anyway, let's open this and see what they got us.
Did you get Cade's number?
I did not.
Oh, I want to invite him to the golf outing.
Were there? Oh, that would be amazing. Were there any other celebrities that you saw?
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
We have. Oh, so I have a smaller one of this.
What is
my
that?
God! It is
Is that a trophy?
It is the World Cup trophy.
That is so cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
That's cool.
I would love
Very
that on my
heavy.
desk. Did you get a second one, or?
This is all yours.
Oh, or did that go to your guest who you brought with you?
The guests did get their own. It would be weird if I asked them for theirs.
I know. I'll ask.
Wait,
I'll
I'm
give you
really
mine.
curious. Was this really a random person? There's no way. Who was your guest?
No, that was my brother-in-law.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Was it really nice?
Shia gets offended if it's my brother-in-law or if it's Joe Biden.
Potato.
Very different people.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that's a cool gift.
I'm
very
happy
cool.
that you
That
got
is
to
very cool,
go to the final. But wait, any other? I mean, obviously, a Detroit celebrity is a very exciting sighting. But did you see anybody else who you were like, "Whoa, that's crazy"?
Sarah, the week
yeah.
before he was at Fanatics Fest with a bunch of celebrities too.
Yeah. So
I mean, you're
met,
way more low key than I am.
Yeah. I met Jay-Z. Very nice guy.
Okay, cool.
And Jay-Z is my inspiration in a way, because he's not Jewish, but he knew to bring everyone around him to be Jewish, and that's how he became a billionaire, which is why I started with Shia.
Brilliant.
Wise. I heard he does have
It's a good strategy.
three different minions in his office.
So, but very, very nice guy. Who else? We met a few other rappers. I met some local personalities like that are on TikTok. There's this Lebanese Palestinian family that goes super viral. The Farha family.
Mike. Mike.
Oh, I was working. We're working the angles.
Nice.
Okay.
And
Nice.
who else? We saw a few more. Oh, the Bella twins. I don't know if you're into like wrestling. They're the Bella twins, Nikki Bella and Brie Bella. They were there. John Cena's ex-wife.
Oh, yeah.
She's one. Yeah.
Yes.
So
there was like a reality show
nice.
years ago they were in. Yeah.
But just
Very cool.
just very down to earth people, because everyone who's there, like the entry price was not cheap. I think the cheapest ticket was like $10,000. So even the people that were in the
ticket in the
nosebleeds,
suite, like in where you were sitting.
What?
I would assume so. So I don't know, because I didn't buy the suite or the ticket, but I do know that for Super Bowl, the suites go for $1 million to $2 million now. So, and that's at a regular anywhere the Super Bowl is. This is the World Cup, which is 10 times the viewership of the Super Bowl, and also was at New York, New Jersey Stadium, right? Because God forbid that MetLife is shown on there. FIFA has such a strong name that they
Did
can
they take
literally,
it off? They actually took the letters off.
They took it off. Yeah, I will.
Wow. I read
picture.
about that, but I didn't know they took it off.
But some companies went and they ran with it. So in San Francisco, Levi Stadium, they put a white tarp around it, but it almost like they shrunk wrap it so you can still see Levi, but not. So Levi Levi's marketing team took that picture and made it their Instagram profile page. So they were like, parenthesis, no name stadium, which I thought was hilarious. Gillette Stadium was covered. Gillette went ahead and like made it look like shading cream. And they said Gillette here's no name stadium. So a lot of these companies ran with that, which I think was genius and free publicity, especially on the tails of trying to erase, the brand. So,
that's pretty cool.
But yeah, I would assume that the
I love
suite, and it was maybe an 18-seater, it had to have cost $2 to $3 million, in my opinion, and from
Wow.
18
from what I
seats.
know.
Let's just say it's 20 seats at $2 million, so $100,000 a ticket. And then I'm assuming they flew you in on the private jet also?
No, I had to fly in myself.
Okay, you had to pay for your own private jet.
Yeah.
Okay, so $100,000 a ticket. Obviously, you didn't give one to Sarah or to me.
Sorry.
I mean, it's okay. We'll take the trophy as a consolation prize.
I'd be wasted
Okay.
there.
I'm kidding. Do not drop off that trophy.
If it was if Argentina won, you're getting that trophy. Because I know you were rooting Argentina.
I don't want Spain anyway. But I will tell you, when you drop it off, can you just bring the Iraq jerseys that you have for us there? Which, by the way, I went back and listened to that episode, and I specifically said to Sarah, I said, Sarah, I'm telling you right now, those jerseys will not be the one that Mike gives us.
You did. You were
We all
wrong.
know that. Mike, I was going to say, Mike, you can't deny that. It's okay. I've slowly been trying to get over it. It's hard. I still cry from time to time, but not nearly as much as when I initially realized. So wait, I just have a question. So who invited you to the suite? Was this like Bet Fanatics or?
So this suite in particular was through DraftKings.
Amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Honestly, iconic of you.
Right?
He's a legend. The man's a legend.
You
The
are.
only
It's an
one.
honor to know you.
He's a legend. We're all lucky enough to be in his
Likewise.
presence.
No, stop.
Yeah.
That's how I
Yeah,
feel.
yeah.
Why do you think I get so excited when you get on the podcast? Because I finally get to spend time with the man himself.
I'm really hoping we grab a cigar tonight. I hope you have time for me in your busy schedule that you can
So
squeeze in a cigar.
I will tell you the only thing potentially preventing me from grabbing a cigar to you tonight is my grandfather's 99th birthday is today.
Oh, happy birthday to him.
Yes.
Shout out to Opa.
Exactly.
Opa.
Exactly. And he's had terrible back pain the last couple of days. He hasn't been able to really get out of bed. And I'm leaving tomorrow. So I've
got a peptide for that.
You come on and give it to him.
Okay.
But
No, seriously, that sounds like a really good game plan.
I can bring back 10 years. Okay, Sarah.
Yeah.
What'd she
Okay,
say?
Sarah.
I know a
been
thing
doing
or
her
two about a
research.
thing or two.
Woo.
What'd she say?
BPC 157.
Oh, Sarah, are you taking this also now?
The MVP, no. I know someone who takes it or who has taken it.
Okay, because
And
Mike's trying to get me to do it.
I mean, I see
Like,
no
this
issue.
Is it via IV?
No, these are just shots.
And they
You
don't
just do them intermuscularly.
Do you have side effects from these?
Some people do. I don't. My side
Feeling
effects is
amazing?
I'm turning into Superman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like a quick process? Or-
Oh yeah, super quick. You draw it out. It's a small amount, like 10.1 milliliters. I had 10 units.
And you just put it right in your belly, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the GLP-1s, basically?
Yeah. But most of them are daily. There's some that are like every other day. There's some that you do for a certain amount of time. I'll
Do you actually feel like are you taking it because you have an injury or something that's bothering you, or you're just taking it for general improvement?
He wants to be Superman.
Yeah, no. So Shai shook his head. No. When we started this podcast, I was living in Florida at the time.
Yeah.
You still live in Florida.
But I still live in Florida, but I was physically in Florida then.
Yeah.
And I'll be actually going back shortly. But I remember the knee pain. I like to sit and have 1 foot under, like my butt, kind of like when I sit. That like when you just put 1 foot under.
You're not that athletic.
No, it moves. It gets there. But
there's no way.
But at some point, like I don't know if it was from being down there or what, but it was hurting a lot. Like my knee, it was just one knee, and I couldn't sit like that, so I have to sit like both feet down, which is not comfortable for me. But
terrible.
Anyway, I started this without that in mind. I just wanted to start it. And like a month later, I was like, what happened to my knee pain? And then I
Oh,
realized it
okay.
was because of that, because I didn't do anything differently, and the pain was getting worse. So for it to get worse, to gradually get worse and then just stop was crazy to me. But
Okay.
I
So
wish
you
I would have
did see
tracked it better.
improvements with it. Yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah.
cool though. I
Yeah.
mean, at our age, you're inevitably going to have another injury or pain sometime soon. So just like mark it on the
Yeah.
calendar and see how long and then report back to us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Please. You're
But
you're doing the Lord's work.
I will say that I have introduced weightlifting over the past like 4 or 5 months, and I'm very consistently. And even before when I was younger, I remember getting sore, like badly sore after, but like, enough to where you just feel sore all the time, right? Like, oh, I'm working out, makes sense. But
Yeah.
even now after my workouts, the soreness is much less. And I think that the BPC 157 and the TB 500 helped with that a lot.
Ooh, TD 500. Okay, doing my
Yeah.
research. But
Search up Wolverine stack. You're gonna turn into the Wolverine.
uh
I gotta try it, Mike. Can you
okay.
drop one? When I see you next, give me one to try.
I got you.
And you don't have issues sourcing it like from a place where you feel good about what you're taking because it's not
Yeah,
it's not all
so
FDA approved, correct? Like you have to get it
correct.
online somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, so correct. But just luckily, a good friend of mine, his godfather owns a lab out in San Diego. So he tests almost every peptide company in America's product. They send it to him, he tests it out, sends the results back.
Oh.
And I shared the name of where I'm getting mine from, and he said like this is our top 5 um um
Ooh.
purity or whatever word he used.
Sure.
So I was very happy there. And I have a good connect out in Florida who owns a compound pharmacy, and he's able to get
Okay.
all these put together for me. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. All right. So when I want to start my peptide journey,
Nice.
just reach out to you. You could be my plug,
Oh yeah.
as they
Yeah, we got to
say.
figure it out.
All right.
For
Sweet.
research purposes only. Anyone who's listening.
Yeah, of course. And we're not any medical professionals, so don't listen to us. If you want to look into it, feel free, but we're just
Yeah.
working off of vibes and feelings. So,
Yeah. Shai, do we miss any legal talk over there? We covered all.
I'm still hooked on the fact that you put your leg behind. I didn't get past that one thing.
Here it's
Oh my
kind of like,
God.
like when you lift it. I couldn't even.
No,
couldn't
please
get high
show
enough to
us.
show you.
Please show us, Michael.
No, no
We'll
one can
save it for
handle
next
that.
time.
Next time. Tune back in next week to see Mike put his leg underneath his
Just sit
Please tell me you're
Indian
wearing
style.
pants. Are you wearing pants?
Wait, are we allowed to say Indian style anymore? Did
I
they
don't
like
know, but
outlaw
hold on.
that?
We
Back up.
don't
Are
have
you-
time to jump into that. There's
Okay.
no time in
Hold on.
today's episode.
We always have time. We could delete our other topics. Mike, are you wearing pants?
I'm wearing shorts.
Shorts.
Yeah.
You're dressed
Aren't
up
you?
at 3:00 on a Tuesday, and the man is in shorts and a t-shirt. How do I get to be like you?
Oh, it's very easy. Just work from home.
Oh my
I
God.
see absolutely no issue.
Must be
All right,
nice.
guys, we got to jump into the topics for today, okay?
What are the
All
topics
right.
for today? I didn't even look at them.
We have some good ones.
Oh,
So
you're in for a doozy.
you are in for a doozy. All right. Topic number 1. A new United Nations report found that Hamas forces interfered with humanitarian aid distribution at a Gaza aid site, adding to long-standing concerns that Hamas has exploited humanitarian resources during the war. The report has renewed questions about how aid is distributed inside Gaza, whether enough attention is being paid to Hamas's role in the humanitarian crisis, and how the international community should respond when terrorist organizations interfere with assistance intended for civilians. Michael,
I got this. Shia.
take it away. I know
Don't say
you
a
have
word.
thoughts.
It's a
feelings.
fastball.
Shia.
It's a fastball.
Shia.
It's a fastball.
I want to hear the politician. Go.
No, so this is actually Shia has said in past episodes that we don't disagree on much, and I'm going to find out here if we have disagreements. So
Good.
for starters, actually I shared this link with Shia when I read about it, and then almost immediately he shared the article with me, so we both kind of connected telepathically on this.
How'd you do?
Now the biggest worldwide I don't know, not corporation, whatever the UN is, worldwide pact, has been super pro Palestine, and was very two-state solution at one point, but now from what I read, it feels like they're very anti-Israel. Whether it's justified or not, that's not my place to say. But the fact that they are the ones saying it is a huge deal. Okay, because they've been I don't want to say sweeping things under the rug, because I think they're just working with what they got. I'll let you say that. The fact that they're saying it gives it so much more power, right? Because this is the group that's been supporting Palestine and all that, and there's nothing wrong with supporting Palestine. But my issue with it is using these people, like you're already accused, Hamas is already accused of using children and women as human shields, right? Now, not only that, whether it did or didn't, whether this aid did or didn't make it in, those people were going to be malnourished, and they were going to be sick. They weren't going to have the medication that they needed, right? So even withholding the aid that came in, I think they still would have been in a horrible situation, right? I don't think any of us can disagree there. Just because the infrastructure wasn't there. There's only so much that aspirin and insulin can do to people who are dealing with bombings every day. Now, where do I see a problem here I think Israel had something to do with the oversight of where this was going. I think the government of Israel could have controlled this better, right? It's not their responsibility, but I think their lack of controlling the aid was, in a way, a strategy in the war, because they knew how Hamas would treat it, right? So it's kind of like a full circle thing. So I'm not blaming Israel for this, but I think their lack of oversight and purposeful negligence led to this, and that they knew it was going to happen. Shy.
Yeah, so I think I'll agree and disagree. So let me ask you a couple questions, because I'm not clear on one thing you said. First off, I guess, do you agree that if the UN says it, I guess we can say if it was so bad that the UN said it, then clearly it actually happened, right? So we agree, right, Hamas stole the aid from the people, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the aid was there and they stole it. Okay, and what you're saying is that Israel could have done a better job of giving more aid and not letting Hamas steal it?
No, of giving more oversight to the aid.
But if Israel was letting in the aid, why would they want Hamas to have it? It strengthens Hamas to have the aid, because what Hamas did was they stole it and then sold it, and in turn bought weapons. So why would Israel, meaning, don't you think Israel would be highly incentivized for Hamas not to be stealing it?
I would think so.
So then why? I guess what I'm asking is, meaning they obviously would have done, you could say, okay, they wouldn't let in any aid, but that's not the argument here. They did let it in, Hamas stole it, right? Okay. But I guess, how could they have overseen it better if they didn't want it to go to Hamas? Meaning, Israel's very incentivized for Hamas to have nothing to do with this aid, because they monetized it.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is over the last however many decades, Israel has controlled whether there's money going in there, whether it was the electricity, output there, the gasoline, whatever was coming in. Israel had a heavy hand.
Put that aside for 1 second. We'll get to that part in a second. I agree.
Okay.
We'll get to that in a second, because we can argue about why did they control it, how did they control it, right? Where was the money going? What was the separate conversation? This specific thing with this specific article, right, which we're discussing. Israel is highly incentivized for Hamas not to have possession of that aid. What could they have done differently to prevent them from having it if they didn't want them to have it? If anything. And maybe it's just like maybe there's nothing.
Can I use a different example to give you an answer to this?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so the flotillas.
Yeah.
Okay. Israel was heavily restricting them, and some unfair inspections, I would say.
Why?
Right, to get the help across. All those people that were taken in and treated like criminals, right? Because they were just getting aid in there.
So if you tried bringing aid to Iran today on a flotilla, the U.S. Navy would stop you, right? Because there's a military blockade.
Right.
Okay, so if you have a blockade, forget the we can argue about again. Should it be a whole separate conversation, right? Remember, Egypt has the same blockade. Why didn't they walk through Egypt into Gaza? So why don't you have the same criticism of the Egyptian government?
You're right. You're right.
So right now,
could have gone over there.
that same flotilla could have gone to Egypt and walked across. Israel has no control over the Egyptian border. So is Egypt at fault for the flotillas?
No, but this is an Israeli-Palestinian conflict, right?
Well, no,
so
Egypt, the reason why it's not an Egyptian conflict is because if you go near the Egyptian border, you get shot. So no one goes near it.
I'd have to do my research on that one. I'm not disagreeing with you because it's very
trust
likely.
Me, try walking across from Gaza to Egypt. That's why they have the tunnels underneath.
I think we need to insert a map of the Middle East right here.
Yeah.
So that, anyone who's watching can kind of see and visualize.
See, I see it differently than you, Mike. I see it very differently. And I'm not saying everything was done correctly because I'm not that guy who just says everything is done. But I do see in this specific case where in a million years, the last thing Israel would have ever wanted was Hamas getting a hold of that aid, because it literally kept Hamas going throughout the war because they stole it.
Right.
So they tried the GFL, that was an American company, tried to distribute it. They tried Israeli distribution. They tried local clans to distribute, but they tried everything to prevent the aid going to for Hamas, strictly for their own selfish reasons. Forget the Palestinian civilians. We can argue, but whether Israel should be giving aid in the first place. But just this specific topic, narrowing it down to what the topic was, there is zero reason why Israel would ever want Hamas to have that aid. And they're highly incentivized. So the way I see it is a little different than you. I see it as they did everything they could to avoid it and to avoid Hamas getting it. Now we can argue about a lot of topics about this whole conflict, but that specific one, as I think even the biggest anti-Israel person, I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying someone who would agree that at that point in time, or over the course of the war, Israel did not want Hamas having more aid.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but the way I'm seeing it is just, in war, everything's fair, right? It's and I saw it more as a war strategy than anything. But I think we both agree that there are no winners when civilians are sick, starving, or dying, right?
Well,
on either side.
We agree. The question is what's the reason why?
Yeah.
And this proves the underlying issue is that the aid was going in and it wasn't going to the people. Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
For years, we heard there was no aid was cut off. Now we're hearing, no, there was all the aid and Hamas stole it. And again, that's from people who are very anti-Israel. That same group that wrote this report has passed more anti-Israel resolutions in the last year than the last 50 years combined against every other country. So it's like, if those people are saying that the aid was there and Hamas stole it, what else do we need?
Yeah. And that's where, so like, this is the full circle of that comment, right? Even after saying all this, like what happened, and Hamas was the one taking the aid. They were going and either stockpiling it for themselves or selling it to get money for weapons or whatever it was. So I think no matter what here, Hamas is the bad guy, right? Yeah. Had they actually been fighting for a cause for their people, this was the resistance, right? You cannot make that argument anymore that this is the resistance for the Palestinian people if you are the sole purpose of their starvation and their death.
Yeah, and that's ultimately the conversation, right?
Yeah.
That's ultimately the bottom line is who's responsible? Now, and then you could say this side did this wrong, this side did that wrong. You could go back 3,000 years. You could say, you can argue about all these terms, but at the end of the day, conceptually, and not conceptually, at the end of the day, this specific incident, the aid was there. It was stolen by Hamas. That's a very hard point. That's like one of the few things you can't blame on Israel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and again, we said it a million times, UN saying it's just that much,
like, if your biggest hater says, so literally the biggest hater says, hey, you did give aid and they did steal it. Like at a certain point, we blame the Jews for everything. Like this is hard to pin on Israel.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a tragedy. This is so sad. The whole situation is sad. We talk about it all the time. Whether it's on here or outside of here, but it's like, how much worse can it get, right? What's going to come out next week? You know, like, where there is no solution at this point. You know, I can't, you know, before I used to have these like dreams of like a solution, but like the more this unravels, like the more layers that you peel back, this is a bigger problem than a lot of people think.
I'm gonna disagree with you again, brother. I think that
Uh-oh.
this has no. I think
Battle
this.
of the co-hosts.
No,
I
I'm a little more optimistic than you are on this scenario because I think it has created an opportunity that didn't exist before. I think that I'm hopeful that from the Palestinian perspective, they see now that this is not the path. Like I do feel like for the first time in history, we talked about it last week, how Syria is stopping weapons from Hezbollah. Lebanon is now meeting for the first time in 50 years for direct negotiations with Israel, right?
Yeah.
I think we all know Saudi Arabia, Azerbaijan, right? There are so many other countries around that are looking to join the Abraham Accords. And I think that ultimately the path toward peace between Israel and the Palestinians lies in the Palestinians changing their mindset from Israel's, like, you know, Golda Meir said, you know, 50 years ago, you know, until they love their kids more than they hate us, there's never going to be peace. And I think for the first time ever, they're seeing that we have to accept the fact that Israel's not going anywhere. And as all these other Arab countries begin to accept that fact, I think the Palestinians are going to rise up. I don't know if you heard about this, but in Nablus now, there are clans getting together and wanting to join the Abraham Accords as a clan because they're saying, hey, the Palestinian Authority is so corrupt, we want nothing to do with them. Hamas, we want nothing to do with them. We want to join the Abraham Accords as like a city, you know, the equivalent of like a city in the States, like Southfield, like Nablus. And they're trying to formally join the Abraham Accords as a town. And they're saying, we want peace because it's in our best interest to have the medicine, the technology, you know, everything Israel brings to the table. So I'm going to disagree with you again. I think that there is an opportunity today that didn't exist 3-4 years ago. And I'm hopeful that I believe before October, there's going to be a bunch of countries joining the Abraham Accords.
Okay. Good. Usually I'm the optimistic one. So I'm glad that the tables have turned here.
Yeah. I have some inside information too.
Okay, yeah, let's keep that on the DL right now.
No,
keep that on the DL. We're gonna move on to another topic, so you're good.
Are we? We can stay on this one for a really long time.
I know we could. I have to interject here. Because we have some other ones I want to make sure we get to. This next one involves surrogacy and reproductive rights. So a legal battle is drawing international attention after a couple sued their surrogate, alleging she refused to terminate the pregnancy after doctors identified what they described as a minor birth defect. The case raises complicated legal and ethical questions about who ultimately has decision-making authority during a surrogate pregnancy and where contractual obligations end when medical decisions become deeply personal. And I do want to point out that this happened in Canada, and in Canada, surrogates are not compensated for anything outside of like the medical, like any medical things that are incurred. Like they're not in the United States, you would be paid to just carry the baby and then expenses on top of that, I believe. But surrogates in Canada are only reimbursed for receipted expenses that they incur in bringing the pregnancy to term.
Interesting.
Shia?
Yeah, so this is an interesting topic. I guess a couple of questions. Abortion in Canada is legal. Am I correct about that?
I believe so.
I thought it was, and I don't even think they have limits on abortion in Canada.
It is fully legal. Yeah, at all states of pregnancy. So yes, which is crazy. It was decriminalized in 1988.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought Canada has until like 8 months and 3 weeks. Is that correct?
Alarming.
Am I right about that?
Yeah, at any stage in pregnancy, I don't see a cutoff.
Yeah. So to me,
you could have a very late term of abortion.
To me, and I'm very pro-life, right? But to me, I think that if you sign an agreement, right, and as a surrogate, part of that agreement is the baby is not yours, so to say. You're just carrying it for someone else.
Right.
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 And the baby, in essence, doesn't belong to you, even though you're holding it. And if abortion is legal, you are carrying it on behalf of somebody else, so you don't have a right to decide for them because it belongs to them. Again, my understanding of surrogacy laws is not I'm no expert. So I'm just saying, like, logically, based on my very basic understanding, if the baby you're holding belongs to someone else and that someone else legally wants to have an abortion, right, not asking you to violate any of the local or state laws, then you legally should have to get it.
I guess at the root of this, it is a contract.
That's the way I see it.
So and I get that. It's such an emotional, like,
Yep.
decision. And as a woman, it's hard for me to give it like a black and white kind of, just having been through pregnancy.
I hate to compare it to something more simple, but like if you sign any contract or any agreement,
sure,
and that's what you sign up for, that's the risk you take when you sign it. So I guess if you have a problem with that risk, don't sign it. Like I hate, like, again, I'm pro-life personally, but that's not your choice to make if you sign that agreement.
Very, very, very tough. Mike, let's hear your thoughts. I can see you've got some things moving around over there.
Kind of boiling here. I don't know. I don't like this. You know, it's funny that this was brought up, because I was telling my wife that if we had another kid, would she be open to having a surrogate? She was like, absolutely not. You know, there's no connection there. What's the point if I'm not the one carrying the baby and things like that, right? So I see Shaya's contract, kind of view on it, right? It's a voluntary compensated agreement, and that's all it is, and that's all it should be, right? But then again, the human factor. We don't live in a world of just logic and agreements. There's a lot of emotions and other things that pop up. So, the woman who's carrying this child could very well be pro-life, like Shaya is, right? And now this is something that's really affecting her, ethically, morally. I don't like this at all. I hate that. Like, we've reached a point of understanding science so well that we can do these things, but then also, like, there's I'm going to say the bad side of things. There's some people might not agree this is the bad side of it. There's some people who say, oh, this is the beauty of it, that we're able to do that. But it's just so sad that this child is not being given the chance just because of a birth defect.
Right, but what's your answer?
I mean, I'm with you. Is the contract signed? It sucks to look at it like that. Do I feel good about it? Absolutely not.
Fair. I'm with you.
But does she stand a chance in court? Also, absolutely not.
If I told you, no, probably not. But if I told you that the defects are largely cosmetic,
I don't think you have a choice. If you
no, I agree. A contract is a contract, yes. But I think what makes this, it's not like the fetus had a birth defect that would affect them, he or she, for the rest of their lives, or the likelihood, of living beyond a year or two was very low. It's like there are other details that matter. An extra finger would be sweet. No, a cleft palate, which can be fixed, I believe, with plastic surgery.
That is so easy to fix.
Potential for a minor heart defect. And the surrogate was already 22 weeks pregnant, so had carried over halfway to term. And the child is now 2. I want to point that out as well. So just a lot of layers here. And I think it's important to be, a contract is a contract. I get it. You can make it black and white like that. That's
you gotta
probably
take your
how it
emotions
will
out
go
of
in
it.
court. Impossible.
Yeah.
No,
but he's right.
I'm saying
But he's right.
I understand. For me too, and on a personal level, that's not how I see it. But ultimately, when you agree to a deal that you're taking that risk, and you can't trade it back now because you don't like it, because someone else agreed to those terms. Like, there are two parties here, and if that's something you're concerned about, then don't agree to that. Like, no one forced this person to do it. I feel bad. I don't like it, but
I agree with him. It's terrible. It's terrible, but Shai's right. This was the agreement.
Yeah.
Okay. On to another topic.
Sarah, do you agree with us?
Yeah. I don't think that this will like stand up in court very well for her. Like, I think it'll be really hard to defend her carrying the pregnancy to term based on the contract. But from a very emotional, like, this is like something that's very near and dear to my heart, fertility and pregnancy and all of that. And I understand her not wanting to do that.
Yeah. I'm
I
with
understand her wanting to break the contract and taking a more human standpoint. And this, I mean, it's a large, I think they're requesting $600,000, and she's like a single mother of a child. Like, it's not something that's really feasible. I don't know what.
maybe the solution is that, and maybe just thinking out loud, I didn't think this through. Maybe the solution is that if the parents, right, meaning the people who are, asking for the surrogate, if they change their minds, then the surrogate herself has an option to keep the baby,
the baby for
but she
herself.
can't go
Yeah.
after the parents for anything, and they have no legal responsibility, no whatever, right? Or something.
I would like that.
Right,
I
but
love that, actually.
like, that's, I think, a good solution to this problem for the future. But the question is today, I guess the flip side of that is, would people not go to surrogates because it's like, okay, but you still feel like it's my kid who's out there, right?
Well, that's the thing. This child holds one. It's a same-sex
That's
couple,
right.
so it holds one of the DNA
That's what I'm
sets from
saying.
one of the parents. So yeah, do they, are they comfortable with that child being out there?
Right.
And that's a whole separate issue. If you're a sperm donor, you put yourself into that. But if you're trying to raise this child yourself, then.
But that's where I get back to, like, if it, as much as it pains me, and it does, because I'm not pro, right? Especially at 22 weeks, like to me that's just ridiculous. But
Yeah.
putting that aside, it's also not fair to the parents who don't want to have their child, their DNA walking around for whatever reason, and now they have nothing to do with the kid.
Yeah. Ugh,
Yeah. That got deep.
it
Yeah.
did. Gosh, I think I need a minute. Gotta take a beat. All right, moving on to our final topic of today. This one is about the wildfires in Canada that I know have affected all of us here in Michigan and many states, Midwest and East Coast and all that. So President Trump has announced a 50% tariff on approximately $20 billion worth of Canadian imports, including products connected to automobiles, dairy, alcohol, furniture, clothing, and sporting goods. The tariffs are scheduled to take effect on August 19th, so just about a month from now, and are intended to pressure Canada to end what the administration describes as discriminatory trade policies against American products, particularly in the automobile, dairy, and alcohol industries. At the same time, Trump has criticized Canada for not doing enough to control its wildfires, which have sent unhealthy smoke into parts of the United States. He has argued that the economic and health costs created by the smoke should also be added to the tariffs Canada pays. Mike, you want to start us off with this one?
Yeah, I'll start. Yeah, I'm a big Trump fan.
Of course.
Are you?
I like when he's a little bit hard on Canada. I don't know why. It does. Shia chuckled. I held my own. The here just close to home, the Gordie Howe Bridge can't open because Trump refuses to let it open. And there's no reason. There are reasons. I'm sure he has his own reasons, but I just think it's hilarious that he's like big broing them every chance he gets. I thought that the new Canadian government was like really like open to listening to Trump much more than Justin Trudeau's government. But also we all dealt with that smoke, guys. Like, this is getting ridiculous. Okay. This is 3 years in a row now. Yeah. And we let them get away with it the first time. They got away with it the second time. And then this last time, like, the air quality for Detroit, Michigan, all right? And I know it's going to be a joke for anyone listening all across the United States, right? But for Detroit, Michigan to have the worst air quality in the world, it makes no sense, right? We've manufactured cars. We've manufactured tanks for World War II. We've done all types of things here. This is like where all that stuff was built. And I don't think even then was the air quality that bad. Now, do I think that Canada can actually control their wildfires? Absolutely not. They're a poor country. right? I mean, with respect to the rest of the world, they're a very wealthy country, but they're a poor country that cannot afford to clean up their forest, and sometimes just letting nature run its course is the best way. Now, unfortunately, we're the ones that have to pay the price. Okay, so I like Trump's idea of, hey, since we had to pay the price, now you have to pay a price. Okay, and then all is even in the world, which seems like a very Trump thing to do. You know, you get one, I get one, and we'll start all over again.
An eye for an eye.
Yeah. So that was a lot of words, and I know I didn't answer the question, but that's where I stand here. Look,
I mean,
he's
there
loving this.
you gave
This
your
sounds
opinions
like-
and professed
He's
your
got
love for Trump.
He's
So
got
we'll
like the
take it.
Kamala Harris thing going for him today. He's going, there are like so many things that came out. And I'm
Yeah.
still not sure what he said.
I mean, it sounds like he was in support of Trump's decision
Yeah, we
with
got
the tariffs,
yeah.
and he hates air pollution. So
Yeah, that's a big thing for me.
So
yeah,
okay, so my answer is going to be a little more direct. First of all, I know nothing about the bad air quality. I was out of the country. I heard a rumor that it was bad here, so I'm sorry for you guys. That's first of all.
Did
you
you
are
know?
blessed.
Did you know it was coming?
Yeah, because someone texted me saying, "Hey, keep
You
your
got-
grandfather inside because it's really bad. Make sure he stays inside." But
Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I heard it was really bad. But
Yeah.
I think that Donald Trump, President Trump, is like the master negotiator. These tariffs are never going to take effect. What do you say, August 19th? He'll negotiate between now and then some deal, squeeze Canada for something that he wants, and he'll get it from them because they know he's crazy enough to do it, which he will, which is why he's such a good negotiator. Same thing with the Iranians today. Like, they have to be literally waking up every morning, like, what is going to happen tomorrow? Like, he has them on their, first it was Israel's fault. Now Trump's like telling Israel, stay out of it. This has nothing to do with you. He's telling Israel, ordering Israel to stay out of it, which kind of goes against the whole theory of Israel dragged Donald Trump into the war, which, by the way, anyone who knows Donald Trump at all, the fact that anyone thinks anyone would drag him into anything is beyond me. But the point is, now that I gave my Mike word salad, at the end of the day, he's using this as leverage to negotiate something that he needs from Canada. And to the wildfires, California, I think, is like 700 miles from the Canadian border, if I recall correctly. I don't know if it blows that far, but every year they have wildfires. Should we be paying Canada every time we give them bad air quality? Like, I don't know about that.
Well, I'm actually not sure if it's ever drifted north into like over the Canadian border from Canada. I guess I wouldn't concern myself. Like, I wouldn't hear that news. Like, when you're in it, it's very different. You're checking it every day, seeing if you can go outside again. But I don't know if it's been as bad from us as it has been from them. And last summer we had air quality issues from the smoke from Canada, but it was half as bad as it was this summer.
Was it really bad, guys?
I think it was 500. It was yeah, like if you went outside, I was outside for a few minutes and like you got almost an instant headache.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was visibly very, very smoky and like almost smoggy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just checking, guys. California's wildfires can travel into Canada, especially into British Columbia, sometimes farther east. Yeah, so I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
I'm sure, of course they can, but has it ever been as bad
I'm not
the
as
opposite
bad,
way?
Yeah.
The question is, and this is kind of to Mike's Gordie Howe bridge thing, I'm trying to figure out what he wants from Canada. Because this is just like leverage. But what does he want?
He wants Canada.
For parking?
No, but I'm in the 51st state.
I know, but Canada's got a huge immigration problem now. He's not a huge fan of the open borders. Like, what is he going to do with Canada if we take it?
Well, that's the thing. Once that border is no longer an international border, it's all the United States.
Right, I'm saying, but Canada has let in so many people. But Canada has let in so many people over the last, 10 years. It's going to
be a path.
We're going to send ICE there.
There'll be a path. There's enough oil there to make you turn a blind eye.
I got you. Okay. Or he'll just start deportations there. Look, I'm fully supportive. I think last I heard Toronto had like a Palestinian flag in their downtown square because of the amount of people who have snuck into Canada over the last 10 years. Or snuck in, they walked through the front door.
I just want to add, great neighbors are the ones where when they have a problem that affects you, they come and take care of it. Okay. My neighbor, his tree the branch, you know, it was a bad storm. Part of his tree like fell into my yard. He went and he called me. He's like, "Hey, I got a company coming on this day to take, you know, to take the branches out and clean up your yard." You know, that was unexpected. I understand it's an act of God, right? I would have went out and done it eventually, but we know what happens when I take matters into my own hands.
Terrible, terrible idea.
But you know, the neighbor calls me and says, "Hey, I've already got this taken care of. Just let me know when's a good day." You know, how nice is that?
So what did you want him to do?
Who, Canada?
Yeah.
Nothing. You build a big, huge purifier. I don't know. This is not my problem to solve.
Gotcha. Can you just give them a suggestion for future reference? And what would make Mike feel like he has good neighbors in Canada?
Yeah. Okay. We'll start with no more wildfires.
Okay.
Okay.
Reasonable ask.
Right there. That's it. That's just like my solution to homelessness.
What's that?
Buy a house.
Also. I think actually, now that I think about it, I think you're paying to buy the homeless house.
Yeah. I will. Just for saying that, now I've got to go and do it.
Well, you know, speaking of which, someone told me that Skid Row in LA now is up to 55 city blocks.
Oh my God.
Is that true, Sarah? Can you fact check that? Skid Row. Is it up to 55 blocks now? I was there a while ago. It wasn't that big.
Yeah, I don't remember being that big. We
50 city blocks.
Yeah.
It's roughly about half a square mile. It holds up to 15,015 residents.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, it's officially the largest population of homeless in the United States.
Speaking of which, Sarah, just
crazy.
before we go, because I know that was the last topic, can I just ask Mike one last question? I just want to ask him about the Spencer Pratt thing in California, where the mail-in votes went to the third person and he lost.
I don't know about this.
So Spencer Pratt was a Republican running against. Yeah, he was running against the current mayor Bass and someone who was to the left of Bass. And he's a Republican. His house burned down in the Palisades in the wildfire, and he, you know, California has no light, and he was polling second to go to a runoff. And then all the mail-in ballots came in, and basically they all went to the third person.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you didn't hear about this?
No, poor guy.
Can we have it as a topic for next week?
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah,
it is, and he started as a reality TV star, like back, I don't know, when I was many moons ago. I used to watch the show he was on. And so I feel like some people had trouble taking him seriously, but I really do believe that he would have done a good job. Like, I don't know.
Mike,
I would have voted
for him. I don't know about this.
I've been
This is a while.
He's been he's been watching soccer. Football.
Yeah, it has been a busy month.
Yeah. We'll give you a pass. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, do your research on this one for
good.
next week, and we're asking for a direct answer.
Okay.
What was the question?
All right, guys.
Something about
Don't
Spencer
worry,
Pratt.
I'll remind you.
All right, take care, guys, and shout out to Natasha. Great job
Shout out
every
to
week.
Natasha, our favorite producer.